first 45 minutes of trade?
Good morning. So my thought is we are nearing a very key support zone of 25 250 to 25 300 odd zone, and the probability of us bounce from the support is very high. So I believe that in the first half the chances are that there is not going to be much downside from here. In fact, 25 350 25 375 is the zone from where you can expect some bit of a recovery from an intraday perspective.
Um, just looking at what Akshay, some of these capital market theme names are up to. Look at a BSCL, BSE, look at a CDSL, etc., and the kind of whacking that they're all taking off. For that matter, even Angel One. Do you think it makes sense to short them further right now?
Well, yes. If you look at the short term or the intraday setup, most of these names have started off on a very negative note. So makes a lot of sense at least to give them a miss from an intraday perspective. A couple of stocks, BSE is one where the downside is not that significant. It's in fact recovered a bit from its lows. I feel somewhere 2600 is a very strong support for BSE Limited, and I would be a buyer on dips if I get those levels of 2600 2630 odd zone. This is one of the strongest counter among the other stocks which we discussed in this pack.
Okay. Specifically then BSE, where is it headed? Can it reclaim its previous half 3000 plus?
Yes, in all likelihood, yes. There is some short-term resistance zone at 2700, but the way that the setup is, my sense is that 3000 is where again this stock can reclaim.
So that's about BSC, but Akshay, select auto counters are also moving up, and the one stock I wish to flag off is Hero MotoCorp. It was one of the top gainers in the Nifty 50 just yesterday. The stock is trying to cross its previous day high. What do you make out of it?
Yeah, so this is a very strong setup, but unfortunately, since last 6 7 weeks, it's stuck in a range around 4350 is where this stock has been pivoting since the last 6 to 7 weeks. And looking at the broader setup from a monthly perspective, there is a very good chance that this stock should head again for the possible resistance of 4500 and try to stage a breakout, which if it does, and in all probability, the chances look pretty high. The stock mostly is heading for targets of 4600 to 4650 zone from a time horizon of a month or two.
Looking at some of the other, buzzers as well. Look at what's happening with Marico, for instance. That also, by the way, is a reaction to their quarterly update itself. It's a very steady demand that they have actually talked about with rural recovery. The revenue is up in low 20s on a year-on-year basis, and they expect actually modest profit growth amid easing inflation as well. Akshay, what's your reading on the charts for both Marico as well as Dabur? Because if Marico says that there is steady rural recovery, one is anticipating would be the same from Dabur also too, perhaps.
Well, if I have to take a choice between the two, I would stick with Dabur because from a chart perspective, the risk reward is pretty favorable here. There is a slight resistance zone on the weekly charts around 495, 500. And the way the stock is setting up, 470 support has been cemented. Now it's heading for a short-term breakout of 495, 500 zone. And if it does, we are probably heading for targets of 530. So if I have to bet among the two, Dabur is better placed. Marico is good, but not from a short-term momentum perspective because there is a very strong resistance at 740. Some divergence signals are evident on the momentum chart. So in all likelihood, a slight cool-off is likely before the next round of momentum picks up. So portfolios or longer-term holders can continue with Marico, but for short-term trades, I think Dabur is the preferred choice.
Your view on Reliance?
Reliance Industries has been doing well. I think it's been 4 months. It's been a one-way rally from 1200 to 1520. Somewhere there is likely to be an upside cap for the July series from the current zone because we are dealing with a resistance of 1530 to 1540. So these are short-term resistance where some bit of profit taking might be on. So from a short-term or trading perspective, I would give this a miss at the current levels. 1550 has to sustain for the next round of rally. So I'll wait for a dip, ideally a dip near 1475, 1480, which would get it more favorable from a risk reward payoff, would make it more vulnerable or a lucrative trade for buying again on dips in Reliance Industries.
All right, that's about Reliance Industries. But Akshay, two of the PSU counters that are doing well, that is BHEL and BEL. What do you make out of this up move?
BHEL, well, the momentum is slowly fading off, but the trend is still strong. So, advised to be a buyer in this counter. 250 is a strong support, and 280.85 is where you can look forward from a short-term trading perspective in BHEL.
What about railway stocks? How's the trend there according to you?
Railway stocks, if you look at most of the names, they have cemented a support base. Now they are slowly trying to catch up momentum. So, stock specific action, I think we'll have to give some more time, probably a month's holding. For example, IRCTC is one where 740 support is in place. Now the stock should head for around 820. Just that you need to give this trade some more time because there is no momentum trigger on the charts right now where a blasting move can happen in a very short term frame. Positive outlook, but time is what you need to give to these counters for some healthy returns.
Well, even in this kind of a market, you are seeing some stocks which are sitting at their all-time highs. We were just chatting about Marico, which is moving on the back of its strong Q1 commentary. But look at a Max Healthcare as well. There is speculation in the market that perhaps this is going to be a nifty entrant come September end. But actually, what are the charts reading for Max now? Because it's pretty much in blue sky territory, already at live highs. Do you think it's got more headroom to go?
For Max Financial, right? If I'm not mistaken, Max Financial Services.
Healthcare, which is currently at 1309 on the screens.
For Max Health, yes, at this current level, I think yes, it's at all-time high levels, moving strong, and still there is more ample room for this to go. So 1400 is the positional target you can look forward to. A bit overbought, so not much comfort for intraday trades, but this is more of a buy and hold counter. 1400 is in the making. 1260 is a very strong support. Continue to hold or buy is the recommendation on Max Healthcare.
Recommendation coming in on Max. Let's take a very quick break on that note. When we come back, of course, we'll continue.